Today's Daily Dose of Math is about Principle 11 from the Math 4273 Advanced Geometry course. Principle 11 is a simple situation that involves triangles. The segment joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side, and its length is equal to 1/2 the length of the third side. It's actually in a way two principles in one, because you have the parallelism and you have the length. So you could be asked a question where the parallelism part of this principle serves you and the length is not necessary, or you could be asked a question where the length part of the theorem serves you and the parallelism is not necessary. Note, Principle 11 is called Principle 11 in the Math 4273 course. So if you're learning the same sort of math but in a different curriculum, you may have a list of principles and theorems, but your number 11 may not be this one. Consult your own list. I decided to make my own triangle out in the backyard using a red ringette stick, a blue ringette stick, and a weird red stick that I found. I measured the lengths of all three of those sticks, and I marked the midpoints of the two red ringette sticks with black tape. I also can see that half of 154 is 77 centimeters, so I kind of know what to expect when I test out this theorem. Let's see how it went. Okay, I have these two ringette sticks and I've marked their midpoints with black tape, and I have this third red stick that I found. Now my beautiful assistant is going to help me make a triangle. Come on. Make a triangle on the ground. There's one side. Make the second side. That's pretty good. Okay, now make a third side. Make the ends touch. That's good. The other one's a little too close. Move the red one if you want. Okay. Let's move this over there. That's much better. Oh. The beautiful assistant got tired of doing this. Oh, there's a swing over there. Okay, so I'll continue. I'm going to make my points of my triangle, my vertices, perfect. And now we're going to test that theorem by measuring the distance between those two midpoints that I'm marking with the tape. I already have the lengths of all three sides, so I know the length of the weird stick.
Stay over here though, love.
Okay. Oh, a bit of traffic here. Okay, that's all right. Okay, so I'm measuring, and it's 77 centimeters. So we can see that Principle 11 applied in the triangle that we tested out. Now let's look at a couple of small problems where Principle 11 will become helpful. We have A and B. Each of them is a triangle. In both cases, D and E are midpoints. In question A, we are being asked for two things: the length of side AB and the slope of this segment joining the midpoints. So to answer both of those, we're going to be using both parts of Principle 11. In question B, we're only asked for the length of the segment joining the midpoints, so we're going to be using the second half of Principle 11. This is what the calculations would look like. For question A, when we're asked for the length of AB, well, Principle 11 says that this 11 centimeter length of the segment joining the midpoints has to be half the length of side AB. Therefore, x equals 2 times 11, which is 22 centimeters. But I say 11. I show the teacher who's correcting the question that I'm applying Principle 11. The point of having the numbered list of principles is so that you can do this. Just write an 11 with a circle around it to make sure that I notice it when I'm correcting, because it stops you from having to copy out this entire long sentence. The other part of question A is, what is the slope of this segment joining the midpoints? Well, that segment joining the midpoints has to be parallel to side AB. Principle 11 says so. And the slope of AB is given. It's 2. So A equals 2, the slope equals 2 for this segment, and I justify that by saying I'm using principle 11. So you can see how much time this saves you when you're in a situation of doing questions on the test. For question B, I'm doing the same thing I did in question E, but sort of backwards. In this case, I know the length of the third side, the side AB, which is 38 meters. And I'm asking for the length of the segment joining the midpoints. So x is going to be equal to 38 divided by 2, which is 19, and the unit of measure is meters in this case. And I justify that by saying I'm using principle 11. This is all you have to do when you're applying this principle in a test situation. Remember, you want to justify everything you're doing. And when the math is as simple as this, saying a number is equal to a number you were given, or saying a number is half of another number you were given, or saying a number is double another number you were given, the temptation for the student is to just plunk down the answer without explaining what they're doing. But you have to justify what you do in math. Therefore, having a list of principles and theorems is a very fast and easy way of justifying the math that you do without having to write out long paragraphs or long sentences every time. That is today's Daily Dose of Math. Please like, subscribe, and share.